So when the cast of SpongeBob finds out they're doing the Super Bowl on the very first ever, their own live stream, what do you have to do to prepare for a moment like that?
Well, I don't think you can truly prepare because it was kind of an unknown, right? Like the technology was new. Bill had done a game previous to that. Bill Fagerbacke, who plays Patrick, he was like the experiment on a game. But this was a whole new thing. So the technology was new. The interface of everything was new. It was the first time anybody had done it. So there was only so much prep to be done, right? Because you don't know what's going to happen.
I mean, Larry the Lobster running onto the field is crazy to see. How?
The funniest thing is we were all the technology behind it. So Tom and Bill, Patrick and SpongeBob, were in the announcer's booth with the announcer, Nate and Noah, right? They were all there together on a green screen in their mocap suits and the whole thing.
What's a mocap suit?
Okay, so a mocap suit, motion capture, which I've always wanted to do in my whole life, and I was so excited I finally did.
Yeah.
And it was exactly as I thought. It was fantastic. So they put you in this suit that has sensors all over it. And the sensors talk to the computer, and as you move, your character moves on screen. So whatever you do, your character does. So in my mind, I had big ideas. I wanted to like cartwheel in, and I wanted to do karate, and I wanted to do all this stuff. And then when I got there and they got me in the suit, you're like tethered to electronics. Like there's no cartwheel that's going to happen.
Yeah. How does it capture the face and the motions?
It has so you wear like this helmet thing. And funny enough, it has an iPhone on it. And the iPhone's looking at it the whole time. And it's got, it marks the sensors. I think Crystal just posted on Instagram for me a little thing about, so you could see the whole mocap get up. But it was wild. So the funniest thing, so I did a bunch of mocap. But then for the game, I was actually sitting in a trailer in the parking lot with Larry the Lobster and a director and a whole bunch of people with the computers. And we were, that part, we were just sitting, looking at like monitors, and we had mics. So the mocap was one thing. And then some of the other stuff was just live voice. But it was funny because you have to watch the game the whole time, and you're waiting for the director to go, "We're throwing to you." And then you're like, what am I going to say?
So you just have to be on standby, waiting.
All the time, the whole time. And I had notes, all these notes in front of me. And I had all these jokes, right? But it wasn't for me. Like, the director has to call on me. Right? Like
so you have to wait for the right moment
to use. I have to wait for somebody to say I'm going to be used. So I'm sitting at the mic throwing out my bits. And they're not going to air, and nobody's ever going to know what they were, and I want you to know they were so good.
I'm sure they were. I mean, when you're comparing people who are from Texas talking about how great Texas is, it's so funny.
But that did make me laugh. I was like, oh, I had so many funny bits behind the scenes, and nobody, whatever.